But we're not actually playing the Power Rangers fighting game. Um, this is for if you don't understand the story or new to Power Rangers, or you're like, what is going on? Who are these men? Or you're just like, Power Rangers, cool. This is a video to explain the main timeline, to explain a little bit of what what seasons there are, what the best if it's some seasons are just unbearable as an adult. If you're an adult, but some seasons are great as a kid, or some seasons are only good as an adult, and some seasons are only good as kids. And it's kind of surprising which ones fit which role. But a brief synopsis is, if we look here, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Are we zoomed in enough? I think we're zoomed in enough. We can maybe go in a little more. Oh, wrong thing. Window capture. There we go. I think that's as much as we can zoom in. Yeah. Just make sure that we center what we're doing. All right. So we all know the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The basic plot of Power Rangers. I'm not going to go through every season. I'm just going to explain the main canon, So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers through space is its own one big arc. And then Lost Galaxy technically is part of this arc. Because they have stuff from space. So Lost Galaxy, but MMPR, as it is abbreviated, to space, have kind of a very cohesive storyline, shall we say? Really much so, starting between Zeo and Lost Galaxy. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the first season only really has like 10 plot episodes. The first season only has like 10 plot episodes, and it's like, well, you can't really it's really just the Green with Evil. So persistently, Green with Evil is used as like the main story, the main event that happens in the original season of Power Rangers, which leads to Tommy Oliver becoming the greatest Ranger ever. So a lot of people harp on Tommy Oliver, the Green Power Ranger in this Power Rangers. This is all super important. I will explain later why it's important I get into this. But Tommy Oliver, arguably main character of Power Rangers for the longest stint of time. Basically, Mighty Morphin Season 1 through Turbo, the first half season of Turbo. He's the main character of the franchise. That's a long feat, and nobody's really done that ever since. Power Rangers is 3 seasons, so and if we take half of this season, half the season, that's 1 season. So basically for like 6 seasons, right? 5. I don't know. Like, geez. In Turbo, he stops being a main character, and he shows up later, though. First arc of the franchise here. Everything up to here is like a really, really cool. You can probably just watch Green with Evil, and season 2 and 3 are a little more complicated of this series, but you'll definitely get a lot of enjoyment if you watch all of these seasons together. This is like the Zordon era, as you will. Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, and Wild Force. This is the era of standalones, which means the seasons may take place in the same continuity, but they change the team every time. They always change the team, but after Tommy Oliver leaves, that's when they really stop having a consistent cast. Like there was always at least one character who always came back, like as a range, like or a connection to the previous Rangers, but they stopped doing that after after space. So that's why Galaxy Rescue, Time Force, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force. I just call it Rescue because it's like one. Um, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm. All these seasons up to, I believe, Time Force. This is all like the post Zordon Saban era. Saban owned the franchise till about Time Force, with Wild Force being the in between season. This could be a very long video that nobody watches, but it's I mean, we're already at 5 minutes. We might as well keep going. The Saban era lasts. This is like how the fan base kind of puts it out. The Saban era lasts. It's much more. It seems like I'm going crazy places, but this is kind of just how often form it. There's a lot to digest. The Saban era is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to Time Force. Then Disney purchased Power Rangers, starting with Wild Force, and then switched TV stations. That's just some history for you. So this is what we call the Zordon era. I like to think of it as a hard split, like right here, just because, or right here, because we don't have like returning people. Like we get a couple ideas and stuff from space, like Space and Galaxy are like sister seasons, because characters do still show up. But Lightspeed Rescue really shows like we're doing separate teams, and like we're not continuing the main character thing. So if you're ever like, this is the reason why this is important, is if you're ever like, there's so many seasons, there's like 30 something seasons or something, I can't keep up with that many. Don't worry, you don't have to. It's so much more digestible than that. You can kind of just watch a season or a couple seasons in a block and be fine. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'll say what seasons are that my recommendations at the end. For the Zordon era, or I guess the Saban era, we'll just do the Saban era. For the Saban era, I recommend watching Green with Evil, season 2 of Mighty Morphin. Like, you can kind of just watch sporadically the storylines in, we can just do a quick, it's got to have the episode list, right? Oh, it doesn't have episode list. Episode guide, we'll have to go here. This is like an old school episode guide. Green with Evil, definitely season 1. I keep talking about that, but that's like the main thing. Any of the two-parters, basically. Watch all the two-parters in season 1, and then you're good. And then season 2, watch all the two-parters in season 2, because that's pretty much like the best thing you can do. All the two-parters are like the actual main stories. Season 3, again. Season 3 is harder. Season 3 is actually an easy watch because it's all just multi-parters, and you can literally just watch the multi-parters. If you want a little like side story, you can watch the other. You can watch like the in-between episodes, but generally the multi-parters are the main whatever's happening. So let's go back to the database. Sorry. Zeo, after season 1's just hard because it's the longest, and you kind of I have to give that overview, because there's a lot to unpack with that season, just because it's like the first season of the franchise and kind of establishes a lot. From here on out, I'll just I won't give an episode recommendation. I'll just give a should you watch this season, and if so, is there another season to watch? Because some seasons have sister seasons or companion seasons that kind of fill in gaps or feel like are in the same universe, and you're like, oh, cool, little crossover. If you like Doctor Who, Power Rangers might be the place for you, because Power Rangers is like Doctor Who, in that you have a new doctor every time, but they're still the Power Rangers, and they do their shit, and you got Sci-fi. I think it's the best Sci-fi thing to watch with your kids. But so the Disney era starts with we're gonna do with what to watch in this. Again, I gave you the order. Zio, definitely watch Zio. Turbo, they changed the cast midway, and it gets kind of bad after. It's the story kind of falls apart after that, until till the end. But if you watch that, you kind of got to watch Turbo and the Turbo movie to get all the continuity of what's happening here. You don't have to watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers original movie, but the Turbo movie is the sequel to the Zio season, and it shows you when to watch. Like, it's the origin for this season, so you have to watch it. It just gets a high budget intro. Space is arguably the best season of Power Rangers ever made, so I definitely suggest watching Space. Lost Galaxy, I think, is a pretty decent watch. Lightspeed Rescue. Oh, Lightspeed Rescue! We got the Lightspeed Rescue outside. Lightspeed Rescue is one of the best seasons too. The Saban era, the original Saban era, is considered pretty immaculate because a lot of it is really good. And I will admit, probably the worst season I remember in here is Turbo for this group of seasons. The Time Force is really good too. Like, this whole entire section of Power Rangers is almost immaculate. A lot of it's good. Turbo's probably the weakest, followed by maybe Lost Galaxy. Just from what I remember, I haven't watched a full watch through of a lot of these seasons in probably a good 4 years. It's been a minute. I watched through a lot of them when they were on Netflix. But yeah, the Saban seasons all pretty good. Maybe Turbo. Turbo is kind of hard, but and a lot of filler in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't want to give rankings, but a quick synopsis of the seasons. Superheroes with powers. Superheroes with powers get their new super improved powers. Superhero with powers get car powers. Superhero with powers go to space. And things happen. Superhero with powers spaceship gets stolen by teenagers who become superheroes in space. That's pretty cool. Public civil, like, police, fire, paramedic Power Rangers. Power Rangers who came from the future. That's the quick rundown of which one of these seasons are cool, or like what they're about. Moving on to the Disney seasons. Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, RPM. This is what's considered the Disney era of Power Rangers, because Disney owned Power Rangers, so it's the Disney era. The Disney era is certainly its own can of worms, as the Disney era is arguably really good as well. Might not be as strong as the Spawn era, but like, it's pretty strong show wise, and the tone is a little different, but honestly I think a lot of the Disney era is really watchable as an adult. A lot of as an adult, the Saban era is a little hard to watch. Like, it's enjoyable, but like Monster of the Week kind of stuff gets kind of tiring. The Disney era tried to adapt. Starting with the Disney era, they tried to more closely adapt the Japanese footage, the Super Sentai. That's a whole other can of worms. We may talk about that someday. Nobody's ever going to watch this video, but these seasons just try to adapt the Japanese series much more, so they don't keep using sources and characters and stuff. It's just a new team every season, and kind of a universal world or timeline that's going on. The Disney timeline does, in fact, have weight, or the Disney series are in fact canon with the original timeline, because this is why we had that huge spiel earlier. Coming to when Dino Thunder shows up. So Wild Force and Ninja Storm are kind of like the in-between seasons. Disney had just bought in Power Rangers, and they basically, from what I remember, the Time Force team did Wild Force and Ninja Storm as well. So these seasons are kind of like in between. I feel like the start of the Disney era is really with Dino Thunder, because it is a direct sequel. It's a direct sequel slash continuation to the original story that goes on from over here, because Tommy Oliver comes back as a Power Ranger and, spoilers, and a mentor in this season. So it's definitely in the timeline. So if you were watching the if you want to watch the Tommy Oliver show and watch the main character, definitely have to watch Dino Thunder. Good season. So SPD is also kind of in the same boat. It's SPD is basically the precursor to Time Force. They're like the prequel. They become Time Force, which Lightspeed Rescue, well, it's a whole thing. In time, like, Lightspeed Rescue introduces the idea of like Power Rangers being like a job, or like something the government or like the city officials like are in charge of, and Time Force takes that to the next extreme, and SPD's like the half step where Power Rangers are cops, you know. So that's interesting. Mystic Force, we have like a whole magic team of Power Rangers. They're pretty interesting. Operation Overdrive is considered one of the worst seasons. I don't think it's that bad. The theme song is definitely very bad though. Jungle Fury, a good season. I didn't really want to talk about these seasons like this, these upper seasons, because they're kind of basic. Like, I gave my like one word thing. Operation Overdrive is a weird globe trotting adventure for like, it's kind of like Dragon Ball. They're looking for Dragon Balls, but they're looking for like jewels for a crown. But I honestly think it's kind of enjoyable to watch. But there's a big event anniversary episode that happens in here, and yeah. Also, I forgot SPD. If you watch Dino Thunder and SPD are connected because we have a crossover here. And I think, do we have I think there's a Ninja Storm crossover between these two. I don't remember. Cannot be certain about that. There's definitely a crossover between these two. There's two crossover actually. We'll get to that in the which seasons to watch through this block of the Disney era, as they say. Again, there's so many seasons. I'm trying to make it as digestible as possible. Okay. After that, we have Jungle Fury, which is like kung fu slash fighting, like mixed martial arts Power Rangers using the styles of animals. It's pretty cool. I'm very biased. Based Power Rangers RPM, another one of the arguably the best seasons ever. Bad theme song, great show. I didn't give the synopsises for these seasons. I just kind of gave a little brief thing, so we'll touch on these. These two. Sorry. Wild Force is about a Tarzan guy who becomes a Power Ranger. That's a bad way to talk about it, but Red Ranger is like a feral guy. He's living on an island by himself or something, and he's got to find his parents. And Yellow Ranger was like the leader of the team and stuff. And things. This is a cool season. The writing's really hammy, but it's cool. Ninja Storm, Ninja Academy kind of thing. The reason why we have back like that, again, more digestible. Ninja Storm and Jungle Fury kind of got similar notes because they're both school for thing become Power Rangers, and also animal school for fighting thing with animal motif. So it's kind of those two are sister seasons. They're both really good. And then I think I didn't really talk about Mystic Force. Guy who orphan who's never known his parents, who doesn't believe in magic, becomes Power Ranger with magic. That's the my pitch here. The Disney era is actually really, like, looking back, is pretty good. Wild Force, I'd say give it a watch. The writing's bad. If you don't like hammy writing, maybe don't watch Wild Force. Ninja Storm is chill as hell, and it's kind of like, if you this video is not intended for children, but if you are, I'm not gonna talk down to you. If you're an adult, you smoke, you know what I'm talking about. You smoke that pothead the porcupine stuff, and maybe watch some Ninja Storm. It's pretty chill. Dino Thunder is a must watch. If you're gonna watch any Power Rangers, watch Dino Thunder. At the end, I'll give like a all right over everything. This is just sectionals to keep it again in a good clean way. There's 30 seasons. Once again, disclaimer: there's so much. I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible. Watch Dino Thunder. That's what I'm saying. SPD. Watch SPD. Mystic Force. Mystic Force is a pass. I personally like it. Guilty pleasure. Love the suits. Writing's kind of bad. Maybe don't watch it. The suits are cool as hell, though. The Red Ranger is just a dick, and that's kind of cool to see a dick as the main character. There's a lot of dick Red Rangers, but like, he's kind of a jerk. Oh man, Lightspeed Rescue out there. More Power Rangers out there, right? High second viewer. But yeah, where was we? We got distracted by the sirens. Yeah, Mystic Force. I just like it. It's very polarizing. Overdrive, again, polarizing. These two are kind of like the polarizing seasons. These two, the Disney era is good, but it's polarizing because you either like the season or you hate it. So I'd say polarizing, so you might love it or you might hate it. Watch. Polarizing, so you can skip those. Watch. Jungle Fury is awesome. RPM, definite watch as well. So that's the Disney era. And you're like, okay, that was a lot. But we still have more seasons and more eras. So after Disney sold Power Rangers, and it was bought by Saban, the original owners of, you will remember the Saban era, as that is who owned the Power Rangers rights. And we got Samurai and Super Samurai. So they do something a little different in this season, as in originally with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it's 3 seasons. If we go to the episode list, sorry, this again, there's so much to explain and unpack. But if you see Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it has 3 seasons. And they're all the same suits, and we know they're all in the same thing. Well, starting with this is a nice little list to look at, just for visual reference while we're here. This is the Spawn era. This is the Disney era. And this is as the fans like to call it, clicked. The Neo Saban era. Which is a thing. Why I mentioned why it does seasons is the Neo Saban era does seasons, but instead of adding just season 2, they add super to the title, somewhere in the title. So that's just a thing. It's needless with Beast Morphers. We have a caveat right there. Well, I'll talk about Beast Morphers, and I don't think they have a site for the newest season that's running. or a page for the newest season that's running. But this is the page. This is the site I'm using just because it's a little easier for me to navigate. It's visual. So the Neo Saban era consists of Power Rangers Samurai, Power Rangers Mega Force, Power Rangers Super Mega Force, Power Rangers Dino Charge, and Power Rangers Super Dino Charge, Power Rangers Ninja Steel, Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, and then Beast Morphers has a quotation, and we'll get there when we get there. So, Power Rangers Samurai is kind of in the same vein as Jungle Fury and Ninja Storm, where it is thing that school for Power Rangers kind of thing, except there is no school. It's more of like being a samurai Power Ranger slash a samurai slash a Power Ranger is like a lineage thing. So you pass that down through your lineage, right? So it falls into that kind of category as Jungle Fury and Ninja Storm. That's what I'm saying. This series is really polarizing. Another polarizing season. This is you either really like these two seasons or really hate them. And there's an arbitrary name change to Super Samurai in the series where they're just like, yeah, we're the Super Samurai Rangers, without like giving them context of like, did they change their name from Power Rangers Samurai or the Samurai Rangers to the Super Samurai? It's dumb, I know. It's a maybe watch. It's a maybe watch. Power Rangers Mega Force, another polarizing season, as well as Super Mega Force. Both of these are very polarizing. This was supposed to be the anniversary season. These are anniversary seasons. They are not so hot. The acting is kind of okay, not very special. The plots are really bad. A lot of cinematography is just not very great in these seasons, and a lot of the character developments are just not fun. These are polarizing. There's a couple specials you could watch of these episodes, and we can talk about that some other time, but I don't want to talk about these two. Spend any more time talking about these two. Don't watch these two unless you really want to commit to the franchise. Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge are considered the best seasons of the Saban or the Neo Saban era, and I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't disagree with it. If you don't count Beast Morphers, again, we'll get there. Dino Charge, Dino Supercharge, another Dino season, as we always get no matter what, we'll always get a Dino season in the era, I guess. We have a Dino season every era. It's a popular motif. But that's enough to say about that. Watch, if it's a watch. Ninja Steel, Ninja Super Steel. I'd say watch. This season is a polarizing season, and it's not very good, but it has a lot of lore implications, and honestly, I don't think it's that bad. And Mechanic is really cool, and he shows up later, so he's a cool guy. And that actor has been in a lot of seasons, and I like him. Mechanic is the character. He should really be showing up more in the franchise as Mechanic. But anyways, yeah, I'd say watch the season. It's polarizing. And Beast Morphers, which midway through through season 1, I think, or end of season 1, Hasbro bought Power Rangers from Saban. Saban sold it to Hasbro, the franchise rights. And yeah, that happened. So Beast Morphers midway through the season, has a tone shift and starts adding a lot of like previous elements from previous franchises, which was very taboo in this era. They didn't really like. Well, I mean, Mega Force and Super Mega Force are all about that, but like Dino Charge and Ninja Steel and Samurai kind of like are keep their things separate, you know. Um, Especially Dino Charge. Dino Charge is like that. Dino Charge just does not like your reference in a lot of places. Um, and the less we say about Mega Force and Super Mega Force, these are very um, polarizing with how they treat the franchise. But they have a couple crossovers. Anyways, Beast Morphers is technically the start of it's a transitionary season. As I told you, there was a reason why I talked about these things earlier. Transitionary season like Wild Force and Ninja Storm. Beast Morphers is a definite watch. Do not sleep on Beast Morphers. It is a watch. Through the Neo Saban era, I would say maybe watch Samurai. This is another polarizing. Watch. Maybe watch. Definitely, like, basically the best stuff is Dino Charge and Beast Morphers, and maybe Ninja Steel. Everything else is a little messy. I mean, Beast Morphers is messy too, but that's the gist of it. So we're finally here at this point where I'm gonna say if you're short on time, you don't want to watch a million seasons. There's also we're gonna look at the last season, the current season, which is the first technically Hasbro season, but it's another in between season. But it's got a lot more. It plays a lot more loosey goosey and adds a lot of continuity from the original, from the Saban era and the Disney era. So it's like a happy medium. But that season is called Dino Fury. I'm gonna arrange a wiki for this. Dino Fury. Dino Fury is really good. If you want to watch Power Rangers, you can definitely start with this. Dino Fury is one of the best Power Rangers. It is one of the best seasons. So we're gonna do the quick rundown of should you watch this season, like what seasons are definite watches. All right, we're gonna do that right now. Just because I kind of want you, like, I kind of want to get done with this video, but I also want to, like, if you don't want to waste your time with there's this era, what's good in each era. This is you got 5 seconds to watch TV, like you barely watch TV or you want to watch clips. These are the ones to watch. Like full seasons, not like partials. So Mighty Morphin, do not watch. Zeo, do not watch. Turbo, do not watch. In Space, do not watch. Lost Galaxy, do not watch. The asterisk on this is there's this whole section is do not watch unless you watch it all. All as in the two-parters, what the list I gave earlier. You can skip a lot of the filler. There's so much filler. At least in MMPR. Everything else has filler, but MMPR is a lot of filler. But you can skip all these unless you want to watch. Again, this is if you just want to watch the best seasons where you don't have to watch a lot. So you can skip all these. I'd say you can watch. Watch Time Force. Time Force is good to watch. Time Force, Ninja Storm, SPD, Jungle Fury, RPM, Dino Charge, Beast Morphers, and Dino Fury. If you want to watch the franchise, those are really the seasons to watch. Everything else is if you want to do a more deep dive, watch more stuff. And then I guess the last thing I never really said was like motifs of the suits in here. Which, I mean, it's kind of dumb that I didn't talk about that. But we'll do a quick run through because it's like the end of the video. We want to at least tell you what the theme is, but it's kind of obvious. I've said a lot of the names, but dinosaurs, legendary creatures, and ninjas. Egyptian outfits not explained, but it's like alien mechanical kind of stuff. Cars, space, police uniform. future space police, time police, animals, ninjas, dinosaurs, space police, um, wizards, um, treasure hunters, kung fu masters, animal kung fu masters, superhero, Iron Man likes, samurai, it's in the title. They're motifed after angels, but we can't say angels in Power Rangers, so they're just Power Rangers. Their heads, they're animals. They're animals. Super Mega Force, they got pirate theme. They never mentioned they got a pirate theme, and they can turn into every Power Ranger. Dinosaurs, ninjas, animals slash police. So this kind of brings everything together. And dinosaurs. So if you like any of those motifs and don't like the bad stuff, and you skip to the end of the video, good for you. If not, cool. But that is the rundown on the Power Rangers, and thanks for watching. Give us a subscribe, and if anybody wants this kind of lore video on Power Rangers or anything, give me a follow. Give me a follow, right? Is that the nomenclature? Anyways, go, bye.